Good people. John Tay Hawkins here. Let's talk trades. So, in this episode, we are going to talk about the Masonry profession. So, a Mason is a builder. So, they are crafted with using brick, block, and stone. So most masons are skilled in all three. You do have some who specialize in one or the other, so they can just specialize in brick, or they specialize in block, which may be more commercial work, or stone, which is more specialized work. And they do new construction. They also do renovations, and they do additions. So again, it can be a standalone structure built from most times CMU, which is masonry units, or what most people call block, cinder block. Or it can be cinder block with brick, or cinder block with stone, or it can be an existing structure that's covered in a brick or stone. So the mason, according to the Construction Craft Survey, the average mason averages about $57,000 a year. So again, that does not include any type of overtime, any type of per diem, any type of bonuses or anything like that. And that's a hourly worker. So you do know that, if you decide to become an entrepreneur and open your own masonry company, you're going to make a lot more money. Also, the education required is, again, no degree. Most of your training will be on the job experience. Becoming a brick mason doesn't require a license. So most brick masons that work on a site or work on a commercial site work under the general contractor, like myself. So I would bid the entire project, and all of the block, stonework, I will subcontract to a brick mason or his company, his or her company. So again, no college degree. It's not required to have a license. Tons of OJT, which is on the job training. So now they do offer brick masonry courses. More oftentimes than not, it's now added into the construction pathway, where you'll take a masonry course where you'll learn the different types of brick and the mortar and mixing, how to measure, how to lay out, how to calculate. All of that stuff will make you more valuable when you come out to the job site. You won't just be a skilled laborer starting off mixing mortar. So I had the opportunity to interview Mr. Fredrick Slade. He is a brick mason. He is self-employed. He runs his own company. And I actually met him on TikTok. He has videos of him and his crew at work. And we started a conversation. And it just so happens he's from Roxborough, North Carolina, which is maybe an hour away from Raleigh. He's been in business for a very long time, and being in the masonry profession has allowed him to take care of himself, his kids, and his family very well. So we did a brief interview. He has a lot of good information and a lot of experience from this profession. So I hope we take something away from this, his social media, his TikTok will be at the bottom of the screen in the show notes. So let's dive into the interview.
Say again, thank you for your time. And can you give me a brief intro and your background?
All right. I'm Fredrick Slade out of Roxborough, North Carolina. Self-employed brick mason. I've been self-employed since '97. At that time, I was 22 years old. Pretty much when I went in business. The economy has crashed at least once, and I've had to work maybe 1 or 2 night shift jobs, just kind of keep things going for my family. But other than that, I've pretty much been self-employed my entire adult life. Came home from the Marine Corps. Didn't really have a job. I was a 6092 aircraft structural mechanic and composite repair. I care about aircraft as much now as I did then. So that wasn't a field that I even thought of pursuing. And a guy at my church offered me a job to just come. He said he was a brick mason. And I was like, okay, I don't know how to lay brick. He said, oh, don't worry about it. So I'm thinking that I'm going to be a brick mason. No, I started out as the guy making mortar and pushing mortar, getting bricks, pretty much just getting whatever the brick mason needed. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty much how I got my start.
Perfect. So did you go to college or anything, or you went straight to the military?
I went straight to the military. I was raised by my grandparents. My grandmother was a former educator. So kind of like yourself, it was college. There's pretty much no one in my entire family in trades. My grandfather was in manufacturing. Like I said, my grandmother, educator. And I, being young, had a little wild streak. And I knew I had to get out of the house. And I wasn't going to go to college. And the Marine Corps pretty much was right there. I had a friend graduate a year earlier. He went to the Marine Corps. So that probably helped me make my decision on what to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I know we just talked about the the kind of stigma behind the trades. How do you think we can change that stigma?
I think the stigma behind trade, some of it is true, right? There are days where it's hard. There are days that you're gonna deal with the environment. You're working outside pretty much. But what I think will change the mindset is you present how much money there's potential out there. Most kids see someone dirty and they assume you don't get paid much. And that couldn't be further from the truth. It's not all cases, but typically if you see a dirty man, he's probably got some money somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is true. I agree 100%. Because one of the things that I did was we talked to the middle school kids. Mm-hmm. In Warren County, I had school choice. We have early college, and we had a new tech, and we had the high school where the trades were. And the middle schoolers would come to the high school and tour the different schools before they made their decision. And a lot of the students, they'll tell me they want to be a doctor or they want to be a lawyer. They want to do this. And I said, well, you're going to have a big house, right? I said, yeah. How much are you going to spend on that house? I'm going to spend $1 million. I said, you just paid me $1 million to build your house.
Yeah.
That's just one house. And their minds blown because they don't realize that somebody has to do it. Yeah. Somebody's going to build it and you're paying somebody to do it.
Yeah. So true.
So in the when you started your business, so you started off working for someone else. Did you take over that company or did you start your own?
No. So basically what happened, it was kind of like a blessing and a curse, right? So my very first day, I didn't realize this guy's business was pretty much going under. The very first day I went to work with him, his father passed away and his wife left. Right. So, I mean, this guy's whole life, went upside down, and pretty much his business was going under. He couldn't afford to pay every now and then there'll be some bricklayers come, but a lot of times it would be just he and I. And he had so much work he couldn't afford to get other bricklayers. I just went ahead and took the initiative and bought a trowel, a level, and a ruler and a hammer. Just the basic brick mason starter kit. And while I was putting out mortar, brick, and everything, getting him things he needed, I would set up a section for me, and that's pretty much how I started. Bricklayers have a thing of, if you don't label two brick, lay them right. And a lot of times he would have laid maybe 30 or 40, and I would lay my 2. You know what I mean? And over time, you just get better and get faster. And so from there, by the time I left him, I pretty much was a very good apprentice. I can say I was lucky to have worked around really good brick masons at the time. So I didn't have any bad habits. And all of my stuff was about craftsmanship and things pretty much like the old timers do, not so much now. And so when his business went under, I started helping another friend of mine. And that was kind of an accident. I was on my way to Chapel Hill to turn in an application for the city of Chapel Hill as a bricklayer. And he stopped me because I had a truck at the time. And he said, man, my truck broke down. He said, will you work with me today so I can use your truck and I'll pay you? And he's like, I'll give you $150. Okay, fine. I'll work with you today. Well, that day turned out to be like a year or so. And he wasn't the best brick mason, but he afforded me the opportunity to learn, and a lot of times I kind of ran his crew. And so the gears kind of got to turning, and I was like, man, I probably could get me some jobs. And he was all, hey, go right ahead. I'll back you up. And actually, he bought my first truck. He bought all the materials for my first job, and he paid all my labor costs, my help for my first job. So I still owe him to this day. And that's pretty much how I got started. I took off from there, took off running, never really looked back.
Perfect. So do you enjoy, being a business owner?
Yes and no. Right. I enjoy the fact that, like today, I took off today. Right. We've pretty much been wide open for probably the past 3 or 4 months. I had some few things that I need to do. So I decided to take off there. I didn't have to really ask anybody. And even though you're self-employed, you're still accountable because you have guys working for you also. But yes, I do enjoy working for myself. Now, the business aspect of it is not so much fun anymore. When I first started, contractors were very loyal. If I'm doing work for you, you're not taking any LB. It's, you just, hey, Fred is my guy. It's not so much like that anymore. I've done work for this one contractor. I think we were like 19 months in, and it was a basement. And he calls me and says, Fred, if you can come down $100 on your price, you can have the basement. So $100 is, the difference between me getting this job and we have an established relationship. My quality work, over the past 19 months. So I think the business aspect of it, not so much, but the other stuff, yeah, thoroughly enjoy.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I still have a core group that I'll call if I bid on something, but yeah, I can definitely understand that. So what would you say are the requirements for being a brick mason? So do you need a license?
No, you do not need a license. In the state of North Carolina, you do not need a license. And typically, if you're honest with where you are skill-wise, you can get a job. I think a lot of the jobs now are, you know, especially like government jobs, you're working on bases and things like that. They're real strict on your criminal background, and of course, drug and alcohol. You know, those are probably three no-nos. But outside of those type jobs, if you come to work and like I said, you're on time and honest with where you are skill wise, you can keep a job.
Okay. And what's the average salary for entry level?
Entry level, I would say it's probably around 15 or 16 now. Let's say if you're a bricklayer and you've been laying maybe a year or so, right? The average bricklayer been laying a year or so. He's typically probably only laid just to the line. You probably can build corners here and there, but you probably can't read plans. You probably can't lay anything out. You probably can't do any custom work, steps or anything like that. So it's I would probably say it's around 14, 15, 16, maybe a little higher if you're doing commercial work. But I really can't see it being much higher.
Okay. So have you have any kind of recommendations for anyone who was thinking about getting into masonry?
What I would say, I'm 47 years old, and I am the youngest brick mason I know. That's everyone I know in all these counties, right? And what's happening is everybody's retiring or they're passed away. And I almost can name my price some places. So if you're looking into getting into masonry, it's going to be a lot easier to make a lot more money as opposed to when I was in it. When I was in it, everybody had a mixer. Not so much now. Mm-hmm. And typically, I would say, if you want to just work for someone, if you're that person, and there's nothing wrong with that, working for another company, I would say you'll be able to make a decent income. You'll be able to provide for your family. Now, if you go in business for yourself, the just depends on your ceiling, how much you want to do. If you want to be just a residential guy like myself, there's still a lot of room to make a lot of money. Commercial, if you want to get big and do commercial, hey, you're talking millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And it's just like anything, it's going to take time to get to that point. But someone looking to get into masonry, it's a job you can start tomorrow. If you have transportation, there's somewhere that will hire you to start masonry tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can definitely second that. It's short.
Yep.
Every construction site. Mm-hmm. Every construction site is short staffed.
Yep.
Is it anything else you want to tell this younger generation about?
I would say don't be afraid of hard work. It definitely pays off. It's honest. If you're a person who enjoys working outside, not going inside, not knowing if it's snowing, raining, or sleet or whatever outside, then construction will be good for you. If you enjoy traveling a little bit, hey, there are those jobs too. If you enjoy eating at a different grill every few days, hey, it's what masonry is all about. Mm-hmm. I thoroughly enjoy probably the things that most people don't enjoy, working outside. Now, I will say this summer is a little rough this summer. I think because I've gotten older, I can't handle the heat as well. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. To anybody looking to get into it, hey, it's a wide open field. Now, I will say it's not for everyone. I have 3 sons. All of them at some point have come on the job. My sons are pretty much rocket scientists. So I don't think it was meant for them. You know what I mean? My youngest son, he's in college now. he actually was a very, very, very good worker. And I was trying to explain to him, son, if you learn how to lay brick just a little bit more, you can pay for college during your summer months. Mm-hmm. But I think because it was just dad telling them that, it kind of went out of one ear, went in, went out the other. But yeah, it's definitely a wide open trade.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's the brick masons are few and far in between now. And you know, if you're not dealing with the large mega companies, you know, the smaller mm-hmm. operators are not around anymore.
Yeah, it's just, if you think back to like when I was a kid, there was always kids on a construction site. Whether, I don't care how small it was, they were carpenters, they were roofers, they were brick masons. You don't see that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is definitely true. Definitely true. So, did you want to give everyone your socials so they can follow you?
Yeah, you can kind of. Now, I will say, so the whole TikTok thing is really just me having fun. Mm-hmm. It's just having fun. I like to trash talk a little bit. Masonry is a contact sport. Mm-hmm. If you're not that good, guys are gonna let you know that you're not that good. If you are that good, then you get to talk a little trash. But like I said, I started TikTok, big_Slade. And that's just, like I said, just me to have fun. Show you a little bit here and there. I don't do much tutorial on there. I probably should do more. But that's really not what I got it for. It's really just for me to show people, hey, we have fun on the jobs, we lay brick, and I think I have good taste in music. So mm-hmm. Pretty much what it is. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again, and you know, I'm definitely a follower on TikTok, and I enjoy videos and all the things you do, and thank you for trying to help spread the awareness, you know, for the trade.
Yep, thank you for having me.
All right, I appreciate it, sir.
And there you have it, good people. Another great interview by Mr. Fredrick Slade. You go and follow him on TikTok at big_Slade. That's BIG_SLADE. He gave a lot of gems, a lot of information on his background and how he became a small business owner. Also, some of the pros and cons. You know, he was completely honest about it, and that is true. So, also, if you have any questions, any trades that you'd like me to discuss, shoot me an email at jonte@letstalktrades.com. Go to the website. I do have some information on there with some links to some places you can do your own research. And again, like, comment, subscribe. The YouTube channel. I have the Spotify and the website set up. All of my social media has links to that plus information. So, again, my goal, my purpose for this podcast is to change the narrative of the skilled trades. And with what we're talking about now with the student loan crisis that everyone's talking about, these jobs are in high demand. They do not require a 4-year degree, and you can make a very good living from them. I am living proof of that. So let's keep these conversations going. You can always feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and let's continue to talk about it.